This is the custom built router top for the Incra Wonder Fence, and the top is adapted to the deluxe router cabinet that Norm Abrams built on the Yankee workshop years ago when I bought the plans and built it. And like I've said before, that router cabinet and top served me really well. The only drawback was the fence and the fact that you had to continually measure and make sure that the fence was parallel to the miter bar or track. And with the Incra Wonder Fence, it eliminated that problem. And this fence enables you to do things that that you just really didn't think you could do with a router table. So a router bit and I'll walk you through on how I constructed it and how I placed the fence on top of it. The two mistakes that I made. Number one was cutting out the hole for the router and the plate, and looking at the video on YouTube of the guy who actually was a distributor for Jesselm router lifts. He was using a 5/8 guide bushing with a 1/2 inch, or really a 3/4 guide bushing with a 1/2 inch router bit, straight cut bit in it, and with a 1/2 inch, you get the exact dimension of the plate that'll fit right down in there. So I thought, well, if I use a 5/8 bit, it'll give me more surface area for the plate to sit on. But unbeknown to me, I actually cut the hole 1/16 wider all the way around. So I actually went in and shimmed it with some 1/16 strips of some mahogany that I had. The other mistake on it was that normally that miter track would be in a dado inside the laminate top with the laminate on both sides. Well, if you're using a plunge router and you make the plunge cut all the way across for the dado, and you don't retract the bit and you move the router, you do what I did. You actually hit another part of the top, and so there you go, you got to make another cut. And I not only did that once, I did it twice. And then what happened was that the fence, and I was using a fence that I could clamp, and I didn't have it secured enough, and it moved on me. So there went another bad cut. So I thought, well, I can't throw this part away. What can I do to fix it? Well, what I did is I went on and shaved out the space that was just the exact same depth as the router miter bar track, and figured the distance that called for on the router bit to the center of the miter, which is something like 6.82 inches. So to get that, what I did is I cut this strip of walnut that put this center of the miter bar little over 6 3/4 inches away from the center point of the router bit, and then I filled in the rest of it with walnut. And if I'd say so myself, I think it turned out better than it would have with this miter bar sitting just inside the laminate on both, and the laminate being over here. And then, so that was the two mistakes I made. It turned out okay. The track itself was centered from the edge of the laminate from one side to the other, because I didn't want to reference it off of the border I'd put on there, because I sanded it down. I didn't want to make sure that I wanted to make sure that it would be exactly centered. So so that was the reason I measured from the edge of the formica or laminate over to the center. On the mounting bracket for the LS Positioner, I measured from the back of the plate down 27 3/4 inches, and then I squared it by coming off of each side of the plate, and then I mounted it to the top with 5/16 by 2.5 hex bolts. So you can see how easily the track moves back and forth. Now this bracket was spaced from the back part of the plate to the front edge of the bracket 27 3/4 inches, and that enabled you to actually get the full 25-inch working area with this LS 25 Positioner. So the only thing I have to do now is attach the dust collecting to it and add a few of the accessories to it. It's a great system, and I look forward to using it. So that's how you build a custom top for a router cabinet you already have that'll accommodate the Incra LS 25 Wonder Fence